All right, today we're jumping into an ancient poem that feels less like a prayer and more like a high-stakes courtroom drama. Seriously, we're going to deconstruct Psalm 26, and I think you'll see it's really this compelling, divine lawsuit.
So let me start by asking you this. Have you ever been so absolutely sure that you are in the right, so confident in your own integrity, that you'd willingly let a perfect, all-knowing judge examine your heart and your mind? I mean, every single thought, every hidden motive, laid bare. It's a pretty intense, almost daunting idea, right? Well, that is the exact premise of the case we're about to get into.
Okay, so every lawsuit needs an opening statement. And in this case, the petitioner, King David, isn't just whispering a quiet little prayer. No, he's basically stepping into a divine courtroom and making a formal appeal for his reputation and maybe even for his life. He is demanding justice.
And here it is, the opening line of the trial. This is David's bold opening statement. And just notice the confidence here. He isn't saying forgive me, he's saying vindicate me, because he's convinced that the evidence of his life is going to prove his case. He lays out his two core arguments right from the get-go, a life of integrity and an unwavering trust.
You know, the specific word he chooses here is absolutely crucial. To vindicate someone isn't just about letting them off the hook. It's a public declaration of innocence. David is asking the ultimate judge to clear his name and to prove that his character is sound. He's asking for a public verdict for everybody to see.
So after stating his case, David moves on to present his first piece of evidence. And honestly, it's a pretty shocking one. He doesn't call a witness to the stand. He doesn't present some kind of document. Instead, he submits his own heart and his own mind for a full-on forensic examination. Can you even imagine this level of vulnerability? It's like a witness on the stand saying, "Go ahead, hook me up to a perfect lie detector. Scan my deepest thoughts and all my memories." David is effectively telling the judge, look, don't just take my word for it. Look inside me. See for yourself that my motives are pure.
But this confidence, it doesn't come from arrogance or some claim that he's perfect, not at all. Instead, David reveals the source of his integrity. He says that his entire inner life has been built on being constantly aware of God's love and faithfulness. That focus, he argues, is what has kept him from messing up.
Now, any strong legal case needs more than just internal testimony, right? So after putting his own heart on the stand, David moves to his second piece of evidence, his external life, and specifically, the company he keeps, and maybe more importantly, the company he refuses to keep.
So right here, David draws a direct line from his internal character to his external behavior. He's pretty much saying, hey, if you want proof of what's going on in my heart, just look at my life. The trust he has on the inside, well, that results in him avoiding deceitful people on the outside. His inner faithfulness is demonstrated by his flat-out refusal to associate with hypocrites. I mean, just look at this list. This is David's character witness argument, but in reverse. You know the old saying you can judge a person by the company they keep? Well, David's saying, judge me by the company I don't keep. He just systematically distances himself from every type of corruption, from deceit and hypocrisy all the way to bribery and violence. It's such a powerful statement about how integrity requires you to intentionally separate yourself from corrupting influences. And now, we've arrived at the climax of the lawsuit. David has presented his internal evidence, his external evidence. It's time for the closing argument, where he sums up his position and just confidently awaits the verdict.
This is such a powerful visual. We still use this phrase all the time today, right? It's a symbolic act of declaring yourself morally clean, of saying you're not complicit in any wrongdoing. David is stating for the record that his hands are not dirtied by the wicked schemes and bribes he just listed. He's saying, I am innocent of the charges. And this right here is the result of that innocence. Imagine trying to stand on a steep, rocky, unstable slope. That's kind of what guilt feels like, right? Being on shaky moral ground. But level ground, that symbolizes stability, security, and the confidence of knowing you are in a right and secure position before the judge. It's the posture of someone whose case is totally sound.
And here is the final brilliant twist. This isn't a desperate plea, hoping for a good outcome. No, it's a promise. It's David saying, when this trial is over and my name has been vindicated, I will stand up in public and praise you, the righteous judge. He's so confident in the verdict that he's already planning the celebration.
So as we close out this look at this ancient lawsuit, it really leaves us with a question for ourselves. When you face criticism or accusation, or maybe just your own internal doubt,
What gives you level ground to stand on? What is that foundation you rely on? What is it in your life that gives you that sense of moral stability, that feeling of standing on solid ground?